Hey, this is Jerry Strauss, host of Hollywood Happy Place. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media.
This is John Lauder, host of The Cheap Seats here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, The Cheap Seats, where we talk about sports from the fans' perspective. A new show comes out every Monday. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of The Cheap Seats. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Every single person on planet can relate to. It's a feeling so ingrained into us that sometimes it can hold us back from great opportunities and great experiences. Good morning, my name is Kim Meyer, and I am here with you live on Public House Media. I am so grateful to be here with you. I am honored and blessed to be a part of this network, and so honored and blessed that you are listening. And thank you for coming back, and thanks for telling your friends about Public House Media and Choose to Rise. I'm super excited. Yesterday, I got found out that Spreaker, which is one of our host sites for our podcast, picked Choose to Rise as a staff favorite, and that just is so honoring and so humbling, knowing that others are enjoying this topic, these topics that I talk about, and inspiring nonetheless. Today I want to talk to you about fear. 7 ways to stop using fear as an excuse. Yes, we all do it. Fear is that number one thing that stops most people in their tracks. It's definitely stopped me from going places in life. It's definitely stopped me from moving forward towards my goals at times. And I want to help you get past that. I want to help you get rid of fear as an excuse. Fear is there for a reason. Our brains are wired to keep us safe. Our brains are wired to prevent us from going into danger. And there's a difference between danger and being dangerous, right? I'm listening to a PD book right now called Obsessed or Be Average by Grant Cardone, and he talks about the difference between being in danger, like there's actually something going to physically happen to you or emotionally, whatever, and being dangerous and taking risks and going for it and just not using fear as an excuse. And so I was thinking about all of this last night, and I was like, you know what? Fear is what stops most people. It is the underlying thing that keeps people in their comfort zone. It's the number one thing that keeps people from reaching their goals. And so I want to talk about with you today and give you some tips or some steps to stop using fear as an excuse in your life and start living your life the best way possible. So here we go. Number 1, the fear of failure. As we're growing up, we learn to attribute failing to failure, being that they're 2 completely different things. So failing is an event where things don't go our way. Okay, it just doesn't work out the way we want it to. It doesn't, maybe the experiment doesn't work, the adventure doesn't work, whatever. Something doesn't go our way. Failure is what happens when you don't try at all, because you can't succeed if you don't at least give it a try, right? So we talk about all the time in the morning with my kids that we do affirmations in the morning. And one of the things we talk about is trying to get past this fear of failure and using failure as a learning tool instead of a stopping point. And so one of the affirmations we say every morning is, when I struggle, I just keep trying, because when I fail is when I learn. Like Thomas Edison didn't fail, when he was creating the light bulb, he didn't, think of not creating it. Like every attempt that he made wasn't a failure, so he stopped. Like failure there could have been, we never have lights, or somebody else would have thought about it maybe, but he took his idea and he kept going with it because he was persistent and he knew it could work. And so when you use failure as a learning opportunity and reflect on it and think about what you could do differently for the next time, that's when failure becomes a learning option, and you don't have to be afraid of it. In fact, you should actually embrace failure because it's going to help you move forward. It's going to help you learn how to get to the next step faster next time. The second thing is worrying about what other people think. It can be a really tough habit to break once you've really have this mindset of always wondering what people are going to think about your actions. It's also a very unsatisfying one because you will always be holding yourself back from doing things that you're worrying about others might think of you. So I think about this too sometimes, like we're trapped in this society of what others think about us. What am I going to wear today? What will someone think about it? How should I do my hair today? What will someone think about it? If I say this, will someone think about say something about it? posting on social media, all those kinds of things. We worry a lot about what other people think. And really, the only person that it sounds easy to say, the only person that you should be worried about is yourself and your God. Because those are the only two people that matter in the grand scheme of things. You are the only one that you're going to have a relationship for your entire life. So it's your decisions that make you tick. It should be your decisions that keep you going, and not worrying about what others think. Now, granted, if you're in a marriage, if you're in a family, and you definitely always have people that are kind of in your inner circle that you do consult with, you do connect with, you do make sure that if your decisions that you're making are going to have an impact on other people, you should definitely be consulting with them. But in the grand scheme of things, I'm talking about people outside of your inner circle. I'm talking about society as a general. When we worry about what other people think, we limit ourselves on what our potential could be. Number 3, focusing on the past. We all have skeletons in our closet. Trust me, I do too. But people who hurt us, things that happened to us, experiences that weren't pleasant, or opportunities that didn't work out for us. But that's simply a part of our life and a part of learning. Remember we talked about failure as a learning opportunity and not something that's going to hold us back? Far too many people allow these experiences or these people or the things that in our closet to cloud their decisions for the future. Just because I didn't do this, I'm not able to do that. Not true. Just because you weren't able to do this means that you have learned from that experience and you now can do that better, right? Using focusing on the past as something that's holding you back is something that's going to limit you. Focusing on the past and reflecting on what's happening in the past are two different things. And so when you're focusing on the things that have happened in your past, the experiences, the people, the relationships, those kinds of things, focus on what it is that you can do better next time and not so much on exactly what's happened. The fear, number 4 is fear of the future. So if you're worrying about things in the past that hasn't happened to you in the past, and you're oftentimes thinking about what has happened to us before, then we're worrying about all the things that could go wrong in our future. We get wrapped up into that negative mindset piece of bad things happened here, so bad things are going to happen there. Not necessarily true. We are so good at imagining all the little scenarios in life that could go wrong that we oftentimes forget about all the good things that can come in our future. And so what I really would encourage you to do is that you continue to look for the positive. What you focus on, you create more of. So if you're always focusing on the negative things that have happened in your past, that's all that's going to show up in your future. But if you can turn those mindsets around and you can start dreaming and start believing that good things are possible for you, and not just say it, but really believe it. I have several women on my team and clients that I work with that are always telling me, I know what to do. I just can't make it happen. And as simple as it may sound and as frustrating as it may sound for me to say to them, you just have to take action. You know what to do, yes, but you don't believe that it's true. And as soon as you can believe that it's true, that has to make that switch in your brain. And I can't do that for them. That's something that they have to do for themselves and something that you need to do for yourself as well. When you start believing in your future, that believing your future is going to be positive, because whatever you believe is what you will achieve. And it sounds cliche, but it's so true. If I believe that I will fail at this business venture, I will. But if I believe that I'm going to be successful and I put my action behind my belief, that's when things go amazingly well. So if you're stuck in a place, if you're struggling in a situation, if you are scared of what's happening for your future because you're holding on to your past and always focusing on that instead of looking towards the bright future and believing that you're worthy of all of those amazing things, that's where you got to switch it around. It's simply believing in yourself and putting action behind those beliefs. Number 5, if it isn't perfect, then it's not worth doing. That's a fear a lot of people have. And how many times have you told yourself, I'm going to wait until the timing is better, or I need to get just right before people can see this? Yes, it's kind of a daunting word of perfectionism, but it's holding you back. Done is better than perfect. That's the philosophy that I live by. My perfectionist husband doesn't always agree. However, you have to move forward. You have to build the plane and fly the plane at the same time sometimes. And that is a really scary thing for a lot of people, that they want to put their best foot forward. And you can put your best foot forward as long as you keep going. A lot of times when people wait to have it absolute perfect, it never happens for them. They never get there because perfectionism isn't a thing. Getting better and improving, having multiple renditions and always improving something, that's what I'm going for, because I know that self-improvement and life improvement and all of those things are building blocks to a better future. Sitting and waiting for the perfect ship to sail by that I can jump on and take from there, that's never going to happen because perfectionism isn't real. So take away some of those limiting beliefs of when this happens, I will, because if you, this happening thing may not ever come. So make sure that you are taking action to get to where you want to go on your own. And knowing that done is better than perfect. A step forward is a step forward, and you can do anything that you move yourself towards. Number 6, fear of the unknown. Many times people are super scared about what could happen, what might happen, because they're not sure what it's going to be. And the fear of the unknown is a real thing for a lot of people, myself included sometimes. But fear of the unknown, when it comes down to it, is being uncomfortable in a new situation. While understandable and quite normal, we can't let it hold us back from new experiences. Getting outside of our comfort zone is something that is going to help us not only grow, but help us keep us moving forward. We have to get outside of our comfort zone in order to grow. We have to stretch ourselves in order to be better. The baby bird has to start flapping their wings in order to fly out of the nest. The seed has to pop itself out. The germination has to pop itself out of the seed to be able to grow. You have to get outside of your comfort zone if you're ever going to become anything better than what you are. And number 7, the fear of joy. Now, doesn't that sound crazy? Being scared of being joyful? It's a thing. It's totally a thing. What happens is when things are going so good in your life and you have this moment of pure joy and you're in the midst of feeling that joy, you have this fear that creeps up inside of you that says, this isn't going to last forever, or that makes you feel super vulnerable that something bad's going to happen, because we all live in this roller coaster of life. And if something so amazing is happening, sometimes people get super fearful that something really bad's going to happen in counteracting it. But that is just what you focus on, you create more of. So if you keep focusing on the joy, you're going to have more joy in your life. But you will also know and believe that we live on 2 rails in life. And this is a message from my church that we've talked about multiple times, and we reference it quite often, that we are on 2 rails of life. We're like a train car chugging along in life, and just like a train car balances back and forth on the 2 rails, there's rail of joy and there's rail of sorrow. And and it's depending on where your weight is falling at the moment, you can have joy and sorrow kind of at the same time sometimes, and you can also have be heavy on joy and then be heavy on sorrow until it bounces back. But always know that they're always both going to be there, and that they're always both going to keep you going on the path to life. So those are 7 fears of life and how to kind of get around them, that you can face your fears, and you can face those kinds of the fears are always going to be there, but you can do things to get past those fears. Number 1 is take action. I know it sounds so simple, and like I said before, it sounds so simple to believe in yourself, but you have to take action in order to get someplace. When we focus on the future or the past, or on what could go wrong, it becomes super easy to talk ourselves out of action. Taking a leap and enjoying the ride is what is the cure to your fear. Follow your instincts. The more people who practice honing in on what your gut is telling them to do will be much better for it. And so oftentimes that little voice in your head that's telling you, or that feeling you get in your gut when you're about to do something, follow your instincts. It doesn't tell you the wrong thing very often. 3, focus on present. Don't let the fears of your past or the worries of your future guide your decisions. Focus on the here and the now and what you can do to take action. Give yourself that 30,000 foot view. Analyze what's going on and stay in the moment of life. Start living now instead of always worrying about what could happen or what did happen, because you can't change the past. And while you can change your future and drive your future, it's in the present moment that gets you to the future. Number 4, imperfect action is better than no action at all. It's better to share something that isn't perfect with the world than to share nothing at all. And so make sure that you are putting yourself out there, growing a little bit more and putting it out there. And lastly, be grateful for everything that's in your life. When you feel those little fears creep up during times of joy, start going through all of these things that you're grateful for. in life, all the blessings that you've had in your day, all the blessings you have in your life that God's given you, and you will be able to feel joy again. You'll be able to change your mindset, change your physiology, change the communication inside your head, and be amazing, because you are so worth it. And you should not have fear running your life, because that is just a sad day, friends, when you let fear dictate your past and your future. I hope today that you got something out of this. I hope that you are able to let fear go, that you are able to step outside your comfort zone and live your best life. Choose to rise today out of your current situation, leaving fear in the past and moving forward with confidence and belief in yourself and rising up to be your best self, living your best life possible. Thanks so much for joining us today. I am so grateful and blessed that you are joining us here on the live video. Thanks for jumping on. If you're listening to the podcast version, I highly encourage you to tell at least 3 friends about Public House Media and specifically Choose to Rise. Come back to my page, Choose to Rise, on Facebook. I'll be with you tomorrow morning there. I'm there on Tuesday, Thursdays, and I'm here in the podcast and on Public House Media on Monday, Wednesday, Friday mornings. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day and that you come back again and tell everyone you know about Choose to Rise so we can all rise up to live our best life possible, because while we're here on this earth, we might as well live it well. Talk to you later, everyone. Have a great day.